It's finally here. The date is September 17th, 2025. And no, this isn't just another moon. Something big is moving right now, and almost everyone is missing it. But you feel it. Things are changing faster than expected. Plans are shifting. People are stepping away. Old habits are rising to the surface. And even if you don't understand why, something inside is pulling you to change everything. This moon is forcing clarity. It's pushing what has been hidden into the open. It's shaking up routines, showing what no longer belongs and making space for what's real. You can feel the tension, the urgency, the opportunity all at once. Tonight is different. How you respond over the next 48 hours will shape what comes next. Before we go deeper, like this video, subscribe and leave 777 in the comments. September 17th, 2025 marks a rare cosmic event that will shift energy in ways you can't ignore. The moon is moving through a powerful position that uncovers what has been hidden and opens a doorway for change. This is a night where clarity rises suddenly, and moments that were unclear before start to make sense. The moon's energy draws attention to areas of life where decisions have been delayed or opportunities overlooked. It highlights what is ready to move forward and what needs to be released. Connections, projects, and choices that have been stagnant may suddenly show their true direction. This isn't just an ordinary astrological day. The energy tonight intensifies everything in motion, forcing truths to surface and choices to become clear. How you move through this night will shape the coming weeks. Those who stay aware and act with focus will find doors opening that seemed impossible until now. Right now, energy is moving in a way that touches not just personal life, but the flow of collective awareness. September 17th, 2025 carries a vibration that highlights endings that were quietly waiting to arrive and opens space for beginnings that align with the deeper mission of the soul. Contracts once made at levels beyond conscious memory are now being honored, released, or transformed. Karmic threads that have lingered are finding resolution. Lessons that repeated without clarity are now revealing their purpose. Connections that no longer serve growth are stepping aside, while pathways that were hidden become illuminated. This isn't random. It is a recalibration orchestrated at the soul level, a moment specifically chosen by the consciousness that inhabits this body to recognize timing, readiness, and expansion. Collective shifts ripple through this night, moving threads of understanding that reach far beyond personal experience. Some may notice sudden clarity in relationships, the emergence of truths in places once clouded, or the realization of a direction that has been quietly calling. This is more than insight. It is initiation, a reordering of spiritual focus to align with intentions that were seeded long ago. The role of this night in the personal journey is profound. It asks for awareness, for a recognition of what has completed its cycle, and for embracing what is appearing as a guidepost. The timing was chosen because the soul itself orchestrated the circumstances leading to this point. Every moment leading here, every shift and pull has been preparing for recognition. Those who acknowledge the current movement will find themselves stepping into clarity that feels inevitable, as if invisible doors are opening that had been hidden until now. Karmic resolution is active, and the lessons embedded in these transitions will define growth, connection, and alignment for months to follow. Energy is shifting in ways that can feel intense and unpredictable. Emotions rise and fall quickly. Memories of past connections or choices resurface unexpectedly, and moments that once seemed settled now demand attention. The body and mind may feel like they are vibrating with an unfamiliar current, as if layers of old energy are being released to make space for clarity and insight. Thoughts can spiral, looping over what once was or what might have been. And yet, these moments are not signs of weakness. They are markers of transformation, proof that the soul is actively reorganizing priorities and clearing what no longer supports growth. When emotions surge or past experiences surface suddenly, it is not a coincidence. These reactions are the body and mind aligning with the deeper shifts the moon alignment has set into motion. Sudden waves of nostalgia, bursts of unresolved emotion, or heightened sensitivity in relationships are all signals that internal clearing is occurring. Emotional intensity is not meant to overwhelm, but to awaken awareness and release attachments that no longer serve. Old attachments, unresolved conversations, and lingering expectations may rise, demanding acknowledgement. But each moment of recognition brings a sense of liberation. Physical sensations of energy moving through the body like tingling, warmth, or unexplained vibrations signal that stored energy is being realigned. The body itself acts as a channel for the soul's evolution, translating these shifts into tangible experiences. Moments of fatigue or restlessness are not interruptions. They are pauses that allow integration of these unseen currents. Connections with others may feel strained or unusually intense. Conflicts, misunderstandings, or sudden clarity in relationships often appear now, reflecting the adjustments happening internally. These experiences are invitations to release outdated dynamics and step into interactions that resonate with authenticity. The moon alignment supports this process, amplifying emotional and mental clarity, so choices become more visible and decisions easier to make. Even if isolation or confusion arises during this time, it does not signify failure or stagnation. It is part of a larger recalibration, a resetting of personal and collective energy. Those undergoing these shifts are not alone. Across the world, similar transformations are unfolding, reminding that evolution is shared and support is woven into the unseen web of consciousness. Moments of heightened awareness, sudden insights, or emotional purges are opportunities. They offer a chance to release the weight of expectations, to reclaim energy previously invested in what no longer serves, and to step forward with a renewed sense of clarity. Each surge, each wave of emotion is part of a natural acceleration toward growth and alignment. By observing and honoring these experiences without resistance, the process becomes smoother. Emotional intensity becomes empowerment. What once felt confusing now reveals direction. What once held attachment now opens space. These activations, though sometimes unsettling, are signposts that transformation is underway, guiding toward a more aligned, conscious, and authentic expression of life. Patterns that were once hidden begin to resurface, bringing clarity to areas long ignored. Emotional undercurrents emerge, revealing fears, doubts, or hesitations that have quietly influenced decisions. What appears as inner turbulence is actually a clearing, a chance to recognize what no longer serves the path forward. September 17, 2025, carries a subtle but undeniable energy that intensifies this process. Moments of confrontation with old behaviors or recurring situations now appear sharper, inviting reflection and insight. Fears that seem dormant are not there to harm. They are markers pointing to areas where release and growth are possible. Karmic loops that have lingered without resolution now present themselves in ways that demand attention and conscious transformation. The inner self is not an enemy. It holds the keys to understanding repeating patterns, hidden beliefs, and emotional blind spots. By facing these aspects honestly, alchemy begins. Emotional truths transform into empowerment, and what once caused confusion now becomes insight. Connections, relationships, and interactions may trigger reactions more intense than expected. These moments are not random. They highlight the imprint of past dynamics and present opportunities to break cycles that have silently influenced choices. Awareness and acknowledgement are the first steps toward liberation, turning habitual responses into conscious action. Within this flow, clarity emerges. Decisions that were previously clouded by attachment or doubt become more visible. Emotional intensity acts as a catalyst for release. By allowing space for reflection without resistance, the repeating threads dissolve naturally, making room for new experiences and authentic connections. The events unfolding on this night are tied to a larger narrative of personal evolution. September 17th encourages the recognition of patterns and their transformation into wisdom. Experiences that once felt heavy or confusing are now sources of insight, guiding toward alignment and conscious growth. Facing the parts of oneself that were hidden or denied is not easy, but it carries immense power. Each acknowledgement, each choice to see truth clearly strengthens presence and understanding. The process is not about erasing the past but alchemizing it, transforming old energy into clarity, balance, and personal authority. By embracing the lessons emerging during this period, emotional truths solidify into direction. Connections that no longer serve gracefully step aside, while inner clarity begins to guide choices with precision. The path ahead becomes lighter, more aligned and reflective of intentional presence rather than unconscious repetition. Karmic release at this time is not sudden. It is intentional and layered. Recognizing recurring patterns, meeting fears directly, and allowing transformation creates momentum. Those who engage consciously find themselves moving forward with a sense of freedom and renewed strength. Empowered by the very truths that once challenged them, energy has reached a point where change is unavoidable. The moon alignment on September 17th acts as a catalyst, nudging consciousness to move beyond what has been comfortable or expected. Decisions that were unclear are gaining definition, and a deeper sense of direction begins to emerge. As old limitations quietly dissolve, this period is about expansion and recalibration. Thoughts, emotions, and subtle impulses are being refined, aligning with intentions that were seeded long ago. What once felt scattered or confusing now gathers into clarity. There is a noticeable momentum, as if every insight, every observation, and every choice carries extra weight and impact. Experiences over the past month suddenly appear connected, forming a map of lessons, challenges, and breakthroughs. What may have seemed insignificant before now shows its importance. Every interaction, every decision, every hesitation has contributed to this point, and the energy available now amplifies the capacity to act with intention and power. Awareness of personal vibrational shifts becomes clear. Emotional energy that was once stagnant is now moving with force, inviting transformation. Situations that felt stuck begin to open, offering options that were previously invisible. Even subtle changes in perception are significant. They guide choices that have lasting consequences and shape the path forward. Connections, both new and old, begin to carry a sharper resonance. Interactions now reflect authenticity with a clarity that was previously hidden. Decisions feel more decisive, intuition more accurate, and actions carry a kind of magnetic influence. It is as though the momentum of this night propels movement in ways that were impossible to force. A sense of empowerment grows alongside recognition. Challenges no longer intimidate in the same way because insight has expanded. The mind and heart work together with increasing precision, filtering distractions and honing in on what matters. There is a growing ability to navigate complexity with confidence, recognizing opportunities without hesitation. This moment marks a turning point. The energies of September 17th demand presence and conscious engagement. Each choice made now sets a foundation for weeks to come. Emotional, mental, and subtle energies are converging to create clarity, opening space for meaningful transformation. Those who embrace this wave of awakening discover an inner momentum that carries them forward stronger, more certain, and fully connected to the next chapter of their path. The energy on 17th September is more than a moment. It is a pivot for consciousness. Personal awakenings are no longer isolated events. They ripple outward, touching unseen networks and shifting the collective rhythm. Choices made, insights gained, and clarity attained now have implications far beyond the personal sphere. Every recognition of truth acts as a spark, igniting shifts that extend beyond immediate awareness, subtly recalibrating timelines and connecting experiences that once seemed disconnected. Recent months have carried quiet turbulence, fluctuations that seemed chaotic or confusing. These were not random. Each disruption, each revelation, each moment that demanded reflection has been preparing a larger field for transformation. Subtle frequencies are converging, merging individual awareness into a shared current of evolution. The momentum is palpable even if intangible, urging movement toward clarity and conscious expansion. Thoughts that previously lingered in uncertainty are now sharpening. Decisions that were delayed by hesitation now carry weight, aligning with broader ripples of awakening. Interactions that once felt ambiguous begin to reflect unmistakable resonance, showing which energies belong and which have completed their role. Every recognition, every conscious choice reverberates through layers of collective consciousness, amplifying clarity and insight across networks that cannot be measured or seen. Emotional intensity acts as a guide. What rises within is often misunderstood as challenge. Yet it is a signal of recalibration at both individual and collective levels. Insights emerge that connect personal breakthroughs to wider shifts, revealing how each transformation contributes to a larger wave. Moments of tension, uncertainty, or sudden clarity are not anomalies, but markers of participation in a process far bigger than one mind or one life. The field of consciousness is expanding, bringing clarity to hidden dynamics and opening avenues for collaboration, empathy, and conscious connection. What once seemed fragmented now reveals subtle coherence. Experiences previously perceived as isolated or random begin to align with a larger rhythm. Awareness of this integration heightens the ability to recognize synchronicity in every interaction and insight. Energy on 17th September activates latent threads within the collective, initiating a cascade of awakening. Observations, intuitions, and emotional insights now extend beyond personal benefit, touching the interconnected field and reinforcing the flow of higher understanding. The work done within mirrors and amplifies work outside, showing that personal evolution is inseparable from shared evolution. Consciousness is moving toward a form of expansion that demands recognition and intentionality. It is not passive. Each moment of awareness, each choice to engage with clarity rather than reaction, carries influence beyond immediate perception. Actions that honor truth and integrity now shape the resonance of interactions, environments, and networks that are intricately woven together. Subtle shifts are becoming unmistakable. Events that once seemed coincidental reveal their purpose. Interactions, challenges, and sudden insights converge to reveal alignment with large occurrence. Even the smallest acknowledgement of truth, the quiet realization of readiness carries a multiplier effect, reinforcing the momentum of collective awakening. Connections emerge that are deeply catalytic. Encounters, conversations, and shared experiences resonate at frequencies that support transformation. Individuals engaged in conscious exploration amplify each other's insight and understanding, creating pockets of accelerated clarity and awareness. This is not simply influence. It is an unfolding of shared consciousness that moves like a living network, evolving, expanding, and refining itself as each person engages authentically. The unfolding now demands attention, focus, and active participation. Complacency or avoidance no longer allows for neutrality. Choices and awareness are immediately woven into the broader current of transformation. Energy responds to intentional engagement, expanding resonance and accelerating clarity in ways that were previously dormant. Moments of reflection reveal how personal breakthroughs are mirrored by shifts in shared understanding. Intuition, insight, and emotional intelligence become tools of navigation rather than abstract concepts. Recognizing subtle changes in awareness highlights participation in a larger movement, a flow of awakening that stretches beyond individual perception and manifests in tangible experiences. Each action taken in clarity, each decision made with awareness contributes to a collective shift. The impact may not always be immediately visible, but the resonance is undeniable. The unfolding on 17th September reinforces the truth that personal awakening is inherently tied to shared evolution, and conscious engagement now shapes the narrative of transformation that is in motion. Momentum is building in ways that are almost tangible. Insights, decisions, and realizations are no longer isolated. They connect to a much larger rhythm of consciousness. Events that appeared disconnected in the past now show subtle interconnections, revealing a network of influence and resonance that extends far beyond immediate perception. Each choice, each acknowledgement of clarity contributes to a growing field of understanding that impacts the collective narrative. September 17th carries a rare energetic density. It is not flashy or obvious, yet its influence is profound. Emotional clarity sharpens, intuitions expand, and the capacity to navigate complex situations with precision strengthens. Experiences that previously seemed confusing now present opportunities for insight, inviting recognition of the subtle currents shaping interactions, environments, and shared awareness. Observations and reactions once perceived as purely personal now reflect broader dynamics. Moments of tension, sudden understanding, or unexpected resolution reveal how deeply individual shifts resonate outward. What unfolds in private reflection or conscious choice reverberates through networks of awareness, accelerating clarity, understanding, and collective growth. Connections become more intentional and resonant. Interactions that align with authenticity carry amplified impact, while outdated or stagnant dynamics naturally fall away. The quality of attention and the clarity of engagement now shape outcomes, far beyond what can be measured, demonstrating that conscious participation is a critical component of this wider transformation. Subtle insights and emotional awakenings are catalytic. They act as triggers, prompting recognition in others and reinforcing the momentum of shared consciousness. Moments of quiet observation, reflection, or decisiveness ripple outward, creating spaces where understanding, clarity, and presence can expand. Every act of conscious engagement strengthens the evolving field and highlights the importance of intentional awareness. Collective activation is underway, and it mirrors individual breakthroughs. Observing the interplay between personal growth and the emerging currents of consciousness demonstrates the interconnectedness of transformation. Insights gained, decisions made, and clarity achieved now have consequences that extend well beyond personal experience. Recognition of this connection deepens trust in the process and validates the importance of conscious choice. Energy on this day encourages participants to move decisively. Hesitation or indecision no longer carries the same neutral weight. It is instantly woven into the broader flow, shaping interactions and outcomes. Awareness, focus, and intentional engagement amplify resonance, allowing influence to expand and consolidate in ways that were previously dormant. Awakening at this level is cumulative. Each moment of reflection, each act of intentional insight, each interaction grounded in clarity compounds influence. Networks of awareness become denser, more responsive, and increasingly aligned with the emerging current of conscious transformation. The effect is subtle yet undeniable. Personal awakenings are amplifying collective clarity and momentum, accelerating the shared evolution of consciousness. September 17th emphasizes the integration of insight with action. Clarity alone is no longer sufficient. The energy now demands tangible participation, conscious decisions, and engagement with both visible and unseen layers of experience. Observations transform into action. Insights evolve into choices, and understanding is translated into movement that resonates far beyond individual awareness. The unfolding momentum is unstoppable for those willing to engage consciously. Emotional, mental, and subtle energies converge to reinforce clarity, deepen understanding, and strengthen the connection between personal breakthroughs and collective shifts. Experiences previously regarded as isolated or insignificant now reveal their profound role in shaping the larger narrative of consciousness. Participation is the key to sustaining momentum. Each act of reflection, every decision rooted in awareness, becomes part of a larger chain of influence. Moments of hesitation or avoidance are no longer neutral. They interact dynamically with the energy of the field, demonstrating that conscious engagement is essential. Recognizing this amplifies presence and reinforces the ripple effect of awakening. As clarity solidifies, interactions become more intentional, insights more actionable, and understanding more precise. Personal breakthroughs are mirrored across the network, creating resonance that expands beyond individual perception. The shift on 17th September confirms that personal evolution is inseparable from shared awakening, and that conscious participation now carries profound significance. This is a threshold. Momentum is building, clarity is sharpening, and energy is responding. Those who align with this current find their insights, choices, and presence magnified. Each action resonates across multiple levels of awareness, accelerating the flow of consciousness and reinforcing the collective movement toward higher clarity, coherence, and understanding. Right now, clarity is opening doors that were previously hidden. The energy moving through 17th September calls for conscious attention, a willingness to align action with insight. Small choices repeated with awareness amplify influence beyond what is immediately visible. Actions rooted in intention now ripple outward, shaping both personal growth and the subtle connections that surround daily life. Ancient frameworks offer guidance without dictating limits. Hermetic principles remind that what is above reflects what is below. Reflection on this law encourages aligning decisions with the inner truth and observing how thoughts and actions echo outward. Every mindful step becomes a conversation between inner knowing and external experience, a dialogue that refines his direction and strengthens purpose. Movement in daily life holds transformative power. Walking with awareness, observing nature, and intentionally interacting with surroundings activate layers of understanding that might otherwise remain dormant. A simple moment of attention on the moon's presence or the shifting energy in the air can ground clarity, drawing insight into tangible expression. Rituals of acknowledgement carry resonance. Lighting a candle, setting intention with an object, or speaking aloud what is emerging in awareness channels, focus and energy toward what matters most. Indigenous traditions often emphasize gesture and repetition to solidify learning and align with natural cycles. These acts, while simple, anchor intention in ways that expand influence across both internal and shared networks. Daily reflection is not passive, it is active cultivation. Observing choices, recognizing patterns of response, and intentionally redirecting attention cultivates clarity and steadiness, and thoughts previously scattered or reactive begin to refine and harmonize with larger currents of understanding. The energy present on September 17th magnifies these opportunities, making reflection not just observation, but a tool for movement and transformation. Even small acts of awareness ripple outward. A pause before response, a moment of observation, or deliberate engagement with energy carries weight. These gestures accumulate, shaping momentum, revealing connections that were previously hidden, and reinforcing alignment with both intention and emerging insight. Movement, observation, and conscious choice form a triad. Each supports the others, producing clarity, resilience, and influence. Attention directed inward amplifies clarity outward, while conscious action shapes both immediate and subtle outcomes. Engaging this triad on September 17th strengthens both awareness and the capacity to navigate what is emerging with precision and clarity. Integration of insight is strengthened through deliberate movement and choice. Observing how thoughts, words, and actions influence outcomes clarifies the invisible threads connecting inner understanding to outer expression. Each conscious step creates momentum, reinforcing clarity and resilience in both subtle and tangible ways. Reflection paired with action magnifies impact. Setting a clear intention, then aligning simple actions with it establishes a rhythm that amplifies insight. Vedic traditions often highlight cycles of intention and action, emphasizing that conscious engagement with time and natural flow strengthens influence. Moments of awareness become bridges between observation and manifestation, allowing insight to move into reality. Engagement with energy is also about release. Letting go of what no longer serves direction or growth frees space for what is emerging. Indigenous practices, for example, often employ elements of release, whether through sound, movement, or natural objects to signify completion and readiness for the next phase. These acts are gestures of alignment, acknowledging that transformation unfolds most powerfully when attention is directed where it is needed. Intentional reflection sharpens clarity, and repeated recognition of patterns in behavior, thought, or interaction creates self-reinforcing cycles of understanding. Each recognition is a tool for recalibration, a way to ensure that choices are rooted in insight rather than reaction. The energy surrounding 17th September makes these recalibrations more precise, more impactful, and more visible in outcomes. Daily practice of attention and conscious choice amplifies resilience. Small gestures, a deliberate pause, a conscious response, a mindful acknowledgement of what arises, combine to shape influence far beyond immediate perception. The process is cumulative. Each observation, each intentional choice, each gesture of recognition contributes to clarity, confidence, and coherence. Moving through this phase with intention establishes a foundation for what comes next. Recognition, reflection, and conscious action now solidify understanding and prepare the field for continued growth. A symbol that these vibrations are being embraced and amplified. Words carry influence. What is declared intentionally today shapes the unfolding timeline of growth and clarity. Connections expand when insight is shared. Forward this message to someone who is navigating awakening. Every person who resonates with these frequencies strengthens the collective awareness, weaving understanding and alignment across networks of experience. Momentum is created through attention, intention, and communication. The declarations made here combined with sharing this message reinforce the shift that is already underway. Allow these actions to serve as both anchor and amplifier for the transformations that continue to evolve beyond what can be seen. Engage fully, comment your power phrase, share with others, and witness the resonance of alignment extending far beyond the immediate. Today, the steps taken consciously echo far into the unfolding journey.